video, we're going to be practicing calculating profit and loss. So I found my old Game Boy the other day, bought it in 1998, and I probably paid about $170 for it back in 1998. But I had it on my desk and Matt saw it and he decided that he wanted to buy it from me. Now I know that it's increased in value because there's just not as many of them around anymore. So I know that when I sell it to him, I want to make a profit. I'm thinking about 60% profit would be pretty good because then I can go and buy myself something else. So what I want to work out is what the sale price of my Game Boy is if I bought it for $170 and I want to make 60% profit. So my first step is to find out how much profit I'm going to make if I sell my Game Boy Color for a 60% profit. So I've written my formula down here, which is profit is equal to the cost price times by percentage profit. So we've got that information, we've got our cost price and we've got our percentage profit. Now for me, I personally prefer to times when I'm using decimals. So I'm going to put a decimal in for my percentage profit instead of the percentage. Because I know how to change between percentages, fractions and decimals, I already know that 60% is the same as 60 over 100 or 60 100ths, which is also the same as 0.6. So I'm going to pop my percentage down here as a decimal. I also know my cost price, which was $170. So I'm going to write that down too. And pop my times sign in there. My next step is to calculate 170 by 0.6. Notice how I've set up my numbers in their place value columns. I'm also going to pop in the decimals for 170 just so I don't forget any of my numbers. So 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 0 is 0. 7 6s are 42, so I'm going to put my 2 down there and carry my 4 up into my hundreds place. Now I know 6 times 1 is 6, and then I add on my 4 is 10. So I'm going to pop that down. Now usually if we have a number in this column, we would times the top by everything in this column, but because it's a 0, I'm not going to bother because I know it's just going to equal 0. Now the next step is to count up how many decimal places I have so that I know how many places to move my decimal point up. At the moment my decimal point's down here, but I have 2 decimal points, so I'm going to pop it up 1, 2. So now I know that my profit is $102. So now I know when I sell my Game Boy to Matt, it's going to make me $102 profit, which is pretty good. But I'm not done yet because I don't know what amount I have to ask Matt to give me. To find out the sale price, I have to add my cost price to my profit. So it'll be 170 plus 102. So all we have to do is add these two numbers together. Pretty easy sum really. 0 plus 2 is 2, 7 plus 0 is 7, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So I need to ask Matt to pay me $272. What we're going to calculate now is the percentage profit or loss when you know the cost price and the sale price. So back in the day, I bought one of these Viewmasters and it cost me $526. Probably a bit of a rip-off, right? But now these days, I mean, technology's kind of improved a little bit and we have things like cameras and phones, so people just aren't as interested in this. So I sold it on eBay for $50. I've got to go send it off after this. So what I want to work out is whether I've made a profit or a loss and what that percentage is. Now, it's pretty simple to work out if it's a profit or loss. If we look at how much I paid for it and how much I sold it for, I've definitely made a loss. But what percentage loss have I made? So my first step here is to calculate how much money I've lost. To do that, I need to find the difference between the cost price and the sale price. Now, because this number's bigger, I'm going to start with that and subtract 50 from there. cost price, I've got $526 minus $50. So I've lost $476. Now to find that loss as a percentage, it gets a little bit tricky. But what we need to do is find out what fraction 476 is of 526. So I'm going to put 476 over 526 and then times by 100 to get a percentage. Now, dividing a 3-digit number by another 3-digit number is pretty tricky stuff, and we're not really expecting you to have to do that. So we're going to use a calculator, and you can too, even in your post-test. And then times by 100. So we've got about 90.49%. Because percentages are already a decimal of something, we can't have decimal numbers in our percentage. So I'm going to round that up to 90%. This means that I made a 90% loss when I sold my Viewmaster on eBay. Here we have a couple of examples for you to try at home. So I had a laptop that I bought for $680 and I want to make a percentage profit of 45%. So what is my sale price? And then down the bottom here, I have a television set that I bought for $1,200 and then I sold it for $750. What is my percentage loss?